The time is now 6:30, and the July 20th, 2023 meeting of the Development Review Board for the City of Winooski has been called to order. The DRB is a quasi-judicial resident volunteer board that upholds standards and procedures as defined in the Winooski zoning ordinance. We review and make decisions on subdivisions, site plans, conditional uses, variances, and appeals of the zoning administrator's determinations. We have authority through Vermont state statute and ensure due process, protect the rights of applicants, as well as the rights of the public to participate in proposals for land development within the city. Appeals and decisions made by this board are heard by the Vermont Superior Court Environmental Division and the Vermont Supreme Court. My name is Matt Basowitz. I'm the chair of the DRB. Harlan Miller is our vice chair. Elsie Goodrich is our secretary. She is not here tonight. Other current members right now, Aaron Guyette, who's not here, David Weisberger, who's not here, Jordan Matt, and Emily Morse. Votes and recommendations are always cast in closed deliberative session that will take place as soon after the hearing takes place as possible. We ask anyone participating in tonight's hearings to swear or affirm that all testimony is entirely the truth under the pains and penalties of perjury. We will ask you to say, "I affirm," before testifying. Online Zoom participants will be asked to testify after all in-person testimony is complete. First up on our agenda is public comments. Vermont state statute allows for public comment at every public meeting. If you have something that you'd like to discuss that is not on our current agenda, this is your opportunity.
Sorry, Aaron just joined in online. So.
Okay.
Also, Matt, you skipped item 2, changes to the agenda, but that's okay.
Oh, I didn't have it there. We'll make that change to the agenda and make it item 3.
There's nobody online that I am aware of looking to make public comments. There's one person online, but they're here with the with the hearing.
Okay, perfect. So, ironically, next up on our agenda is changes to the agenda. Do we hear or anybody want any changes to the current agenda as it is currently laid out? Hearing none, we will move on to our next item, which is approving our previous meeting's minutes. I will be recusing myself. I was not at the last meeting, but are there any changes that anybody would like to see made to the previous meeting's minutes?
I have no comments.
No. I will entertain a motion to approve those minutes.
I'll motion to approve the previous meeting's minutes.
And second?
I will second.
And all those in favor of approving the minutes, please say aye or raise your hand.
Aye.
Aye.
All those not in favor, please say no. All those abstaining, I am abstaining.
Okay.
Next up on our agenda is election of officers. Every year, our chair, vice chair, and secretary are elected to 1-year terms, and we do typically do that in July. So it is now time. I don't know if I should be doing this.
I think you can, if you, as the current chair, we typically allow the current chair to facilitate this this process. You can look to nominate as a slate or individually, depending on how you all feel comfortable. As I mentioned earlier, Elsie, who's not here tonight, is our she is our current secretary. She did indicate that she is interested in serving again as secretary. So,
okay.
Yeah, you can take it as a
When
slate.
did we just kind of out of cycle picked our officers, didn't we? When
when Kevin,
yes,
when he stepped down, I believe, no. I think he's been off the board for over a year now, I think. So, so we would have, this current slate, we would have elected at our last
a whole year ago.
July meeting, yes.
But I think there was a delay.
There may have been.
Somebody may have had a kid or something.
No, that was in April.
Oh, that was in April.
That was in April.
Okay.
No, I thought it hadn't been a full year, but I'm not sure.
I feel like
Yes.
that sounds
This
right.
Yeah.
the current officers have been officers in these positions for the previous year.
But you're right. It does feel like we just did this.
About a year ago.
So as chair, I've mentioned in previous meetings, I don't know how long I'm going to be a Vermont resident, but I am happy to help in whatever capacity, whether that be chair or not, for as long as I am. I'm happy to stay on as chair. There is no firm timeline for anything yet.
I'll move that we keep the current slate.
Are you guys
Yeah.
okay with
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
I'll second
Okay.
that.
That has
Pretty contentious.
motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor
Wait,
of
was there a second?
I second.
Oh, you second.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Sorry.
all
about
those in favor of keeping the current slate for one more year, please say aye. Raise your hand,
Aye.
Aye.
that. Okay.
and that carries unanimously.
All right. Thank you very much.
Certainly. Next up is our one substantive item on our agenda, which is a public hearing for, I believe, a change of use at 133 Elm Street. And Eric, if you want to give us some background before we
Yep.
jump on that?
Yeah, so this is a conditional use request for a change of use, or I guess a change of use for a portion of the existing building at 133 Elm Street. Our current regulations, our land use regulations, have a use table that outlines a variety of uses. It's clearly not an exhaustive list, so because we can't come up with everything. So we do have a provision in our regulations that says if something is not included, it can come forward as a conditional use before the Development Review Board. The applicant tonight is requesting to establish a commercial kitchen for the purposes of catering, basically a commercial catering kitchen in a portion of the space at 133 Elm Street. 133 Elm Street, as you may know, is about 100,000 square foot industrial building. It's been an industrial use for many, many years. It's in an industrial zoning district. Catering kitchens is not included as a use in our use table. The next closest thing we have is a restaurant, which is not permitted in that zoning district. So that's why I advised the applicant to come forward tonight as a conditional use, so it could potentially be a permitted use in that location. So the applicant is here tonight, and I believe there's a couple of folks online as well. So that's just a general overview of why we're here tonight and what we're here to discuss.
Do you know if the people online are with the applicant?
I believe so. Do you have a John B. with you by chance? Then there is potentially one member of the public and now a phone number, which I
The ones that you should have, that's part up with me, it should be Jagger Nettie from Nettie Real Estate and Fernando Costa.
Okay, so Jagger may be the phone number, so we can, do you know his phone number offhand? It's okay if you don't, but,
That's why lately everything's attached to a phone. So, I have a mobile number of 802-343-1305.
yep, okay, that's him. So he is on, I will rename him.
And he just messaged me too. That's what I wrote.
Okay,
All
so, yes, so we do have at least one additional member with the applicant online tonight.
Okay, we'll invite the applicants. Please join us.
She's my moral support.
Okay. And please state your name.
It's Gina Buchanan.
Gina, nice to meet you.
Nice.
And would you please affirm that everything you are telling us today is the truth, the whole truth, under the pains and penalties of perjury?
Absolutely, yes I do.
Okay, thank you. So tell us a little bit about the project.
So I have been a commercial caterer now just under a year, but I am growing very, very quickly. So which it's a good paying problem to have, but it's requiring me to have my own space. I live in Winooski. So Jagger Nettie is my commercial property. He went off and he's like, hey, we have a spot. And it's ideal because it's close to home for me. It's in an area. It's really simple for me to use. It'll allow me to get in and use my time frame wisely. So this way I can cater to the public, to cater to my meals, being able to have things on time and ready. So this way I'm not always falling behind. The current space that I'm in is great. I'm only able to be there 3 hours a day, certain days a week, and I can get nothing done, or I'm there all day on Sundays for about 14 to 15 hours. So this gives me a little bit more usage of my time in managing my expectations and managing my customers. Encanto Kitchen is an authentic Puerto Rican catering spot. I feel that like bringing it to Winooski, hometown for me, it adds to the diversity that we don't have or that we don't show any substance for. And Gonzo Kitchen has grown tremendously. Today I had a catering event with Ben & Jerry's that it was supposed to go to 2. We ended up at 1:30 because we had everything already eaten up and taken away. And it's a great feeling to have when you see that happen. Right now, I've also rented spot from the Winooski Catering Kitchen. But again, it's getting on a calendar, being able to be there to do it. And it's not always feasible, especially when you have people that are like, oh, well, we have this and we have that. And I can't cater to everybody, obviously, but I will love to maximize my time and be able to get out there for people. So that's my project. The project for the site in itself, it's a portion of the kitchen. It allows me a vendor access. It allows me a ramp. It allows me to be able to just have, it's not a restaurant. I don't want a restaurant. I'm sorry. It's not the brick and mortar I'm looking for. But again, what we do is we offer currently 1 meal a week. I would love to step that up and offer it 4 times a week to people, but it's an online ordering. They're not coming in, they're just not popping up, they're setting the time, it's booked, slated, and it's a 3-hour window. So, and I will like to keep it that way. Again, managing my expectations.
For pickup or delivery?
Pickup.
For pickup.
So no delivery purposes at all. Every delivering agency wants a portion of the delivering charges. Problem with that is that they tie into your intellectual property. So the traffic won't be to my website, it'll be through them. I am sorry, it's mine. I built this baby and everything else, not that I don't mind sharing, but it's, again, I'd rather have it come through me rather than go through somebody else paying those fees. So it's easier for them to come pick up. And my clients right now, my customers, had no problem with it. They set their time and their meals are ready. I literally let them know, hey, your order's complete.
Now, when you say 1 meal a week, I'm assuming you mean 1 catered event a week?
No, actually, so my catered events are normally 2. What we do is we offer 1 meal a week out to the public where, again, they're able to order online. We put out 1 meal. It's not like a restaurant. It's not like a takeout. It's a set meal that's there. If they want to buy it, they want to purchase it, they just book in going, I will love that. They click on the box. It's there. The meal gets made. It's all clocked. So like if all of you came down here and said, Gina, we will love to have your rice and chicken and everything else, you can click as to what time you want to pick it up. They order by Wednesday and it's pick up by Saturday currently at the Mill Market.
Okay.
So again, it's setting up the time frames to be able to do that. But I've had a lot more people asking for, do you have any other days of the week other than Saturday? So again, I'm listening to my clients, my customers. I will love to cater to that need. So, and that's kind of where that is. But this is the space in itself.
So the old office area.
Correct. It's an old.
I used to work in there for like 8 years, so.
There you
I know
go.
the
So you
layout
know the
well.
space. That works for me. So the part to the right is literally what I'm looking for the station itself. Where it says office space, that would be more my office space. And then next to it would be a dry storage area. So we're not really doing any major renovations in that spot. What we want to do is remove that center wall and create just a long workspace station, an open work plate. The fryer convection oven range top would be basically on the right-hand side. The hood would be there, would go over there. The drop ceiling currently will be lifted up, and then the hood would go out through the ceiling because it's a wood frame. So again, going out through the ceiling. Those are the only changes. Onto the left is going to be a 3-bay sink that we're putting in to meet with the health inspection, the guidelines for it.
Okay.
The fridge and the freezer currently are mobile. They're nothing set in stone. There's nothing in the works right now for development of putting up a freezer. Everything that I do is at use. So again, nothing is being purchased to go off and be stored. It's being used almost immediately, so there is no overhead. There is no waste on our side for it.
Now, you mentioned the issues that you've been having getting space in a commercial kitchen to work. Do you envision potentially this ever being used in that capacity as well? Or will it just be your business and your
I
products
have
being
no
put
problem
in there?
opening it up to the community. I love Winooski, and I know that there's a lot of need and everything else. Again, as long as they understand that there is no cooler and freezer space, that's available, them using the time and the space, I have no problem opening it up to other people. It's not the priority on my list,
Mhm.
obviously, but again, I'm not opposed to going off and helping somebody else out.
Okay.
The joy is that I have lived in Winooski for about 20 years. My kids went to school here. I have seen this place grow. The one thing, the Latin population is so underrepresented, and I will love to bring that to the forefront by doing this. I've had conversations with the city manager's office. I will love to get more involved, bring the food over, connect with people, bring it to a different level, and using that as a doorway. And just the means for people to understand. Puerto Rican cooking is Creole cooking. It really is. It's a combination of our indigenous, our Latin, basically our Spaniards, and our African roots. So there's a lot of things like with our African community. They're like, so how does that work? I'm like, hi, I'm African. I get it. We use this, like, people don't understand that the same vegetables we use are the same that are used in our African culture. And I'm getting more and more people that want to learn. What I would love to do is just open up, like, learn how to cook, learn how to do something different. And again, we all talk about hybrid meetings. I have no problem doing that. You know, I want to bring people in to be able to do that. But if I have to go off and do it at somebody else's schedule, it's really hard to bring back to the community. So, and that's not what I want to do, hence having this spot. It took me, this one catering job that I did for Ben and Jerry, 4 days worth of prep, and all day was my frying, and that's 3 hours of time to wrap in, and I have to be there at 8 o'clock because I can't get into the kitchen before 8. So again, it allows me the space to come in, get settled, and not have to be on somebody else's agenda.
Yeah.
But again, bringing it close to home, I guess it just means a little bit more for me. Winooski is home. Winooski has been a lot of their upbringing, what we do, what we've done. Caitlin walked into the community center yesterday, and all of a sudden, it's like, hey, Caitlin, it's like, it's there, it's family. I can go up and down the block and say hi to people, and it's like, hey, did you hear? And they're like, oh no, you really want to do that? I'm like, that's the goal. And it's like, let us know, we want to be there. I've had more community support of wanting to come over. Aaron is my neighbor. You know, so I love just doing what I do.
Yeah.
So, and that's just bringing a community closer together.
Awesome. The only other question that I had,
Sure.
I read through all this earlier. There was an issue with this property 2 years ago, and where odors were permeating the neighborhood, and it was not food. Do you have a plan in place? I mean, I love the smell of food myself, but do you anticipate the potential for neighbors being impacted by the aromas that are created?
The aromas that I have that come out of the space is nothing to the point of being pungent. It's when you walk in through the doors, you'll smell it more. The most that anybody will ever smell is a fryer going, because that's what most of it is. But again, if I can do it in an indoor space, kind of like the community kitchen, and nobody's complaining about it or they don't have a problem with it, I don't think it's going to impact the neighbors that are 50 feet away, 100 feet away.
So you're on the Memorial Park side of, is that what we're looking at? Those entrances on the back side against Memorial
Yep.
Park, which has
Yeah. I think
no
it's-
neighbors on that side, you're just facing the river.
It's
Yeah,
in
it's not, because the hemp factory had everything blowing towards Winooski,
I believe that's right, yeah.
which was an issue. They're
And
drying,
then,
they're
right, and then
whatever.
with this, the hood is gonna go upwards.
That's gonna be on the roof?
Yep, it has to be on the roof.
Yeah.
So fire and city inspectors want, state and city fire marshals needed to go through the roof.
That's a long ways up.
But again, they were there on site because of the project with Cabot. So what I did was, I am sorry, I am a proactive person. If this is to go forward, what do I need? What do we need to do? How is it gonna impact me? Just so I know how it impacts the community. So for us, it's gonna go up. So it's not gonna be like it's
Yeah, because
just.
they're doing the roof down there right now, I think, anyway, so.
So, and like I said, the only thing that's gonna change structurally on the inside is the removal of that wall, and the drop ceilings are gonna be pushed upwards, so this way there's more room to it.
Any other questions from our board or Aaron?
No, pretty straightforward.
Nothing for me.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. I
Absolutely.
appreciate it. Stand by, because if there are any people that
Yeah.
also want to speak on this hearing, we may ask you to come back and
Absolutely.
respond. So, thank you. Is there anybody else that would like to speak on this project?
So the only other person online right now is Jagarnetti, who's representing the property, I would say. I think that's a fair assessment, so.
Okay.
No members of the public online right now.
And they haven't raised their hand to
No.
chime in with anything? All right. Well, hearing that and having no more questions, we really appreciate you being here. We will talk and go into deliberative session probably tonight. We're getting through this meeting pretty quickly, so. Are we taking votes to end hearings?
We can.
Okay. I will entertain a motion to end this current hearing.
So moved.
I will second.
All those in favor of ending this hearing, please raise your hand.
Aye.
Aye. That passes unanimously. Thanks so much.
I will just say that with the hearing closed, I have exhibits A through J that will be entered into the record. I will be giving a copy of the exhibit list to the applicant so they can see what it is that will be included in the record, and that will be, I'll do that right now.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Absolutely, thank you.
And next up on our agenda tonight are city updates.
I have nothing specific to update you all on unless you have something you want an update on, I guess is what I would say. Any projects going on in the city that you're interested in? No.
Can't think of anything. Other business is our next agenda item.
The only other business that I have is tomorrow is our deadline for the August DRB meeting. So if nothing is submitted for that meeting, my intention was to cancel that unless you all have a need to get together in August.
I'll
But
probably be out of town.
okay, and I know you're out in September.
September.
Okay, yeah.
I
So
might be out of town as well.
okay, so if I will let you all know if we are having, if anything comes in. I haven't had any conversations with anybody that has an intention to submit tomorrow, so tomorrow's the deadline though, but I'll let you know.
Okay. And last item on our agenda is to adjourn. And we need a motion and a second to adjourn.
Go ahead.
I'll make the motion.
Okay.
I'll second.
All those in favor of adjourning for the evening, please say aye. Raise your
Aye.
hand.
Aye.
That carries unanimously. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you so much. We will go into deliberative session momentarily. That will be closed door. We'll talk privately.
And Aaron, you have the link for that? Okay, great. All right.